Talk to me.
third place. I mean, I have to say, you handled this with so much grace, but you
Oh,
weren't surprised Ashley cut you. But
no.
still, what did it feel like in the moment to have that sort of all flash in front of you?
It was hard because I remember all day today, I was practicing my speech. I was in the diary room cussing because I was like, God, like this is a $750,000 speech, Morgan. Like, lock it in. Like, get it together. And then I'm trying to plan for the HOH comp. I didn't know what the hell it was gonna be. And I'm like, I'm going against Ashley. Her and I are very even keeled with the mental comps. I knew this wasn't gonna be a physical comp. So I'm trying to keep it together. I know Vince is looking at me like, are you gonna take me? And I'm looking at him like, dude, I got a comp today. Like, I'm not worried about you right now. Like, I'm worried about me. And it was such a whirlwind. And so I knew when I got up there, I mean, everyone saw I was second guessing myself. And I did that a lot in booth comps. And I wish I would have reminded myself, like, just take your time, answer your question. And when the one you grab is the one you should stick to, because it was your first gut, and I would switch, or I would, it was tough. But I knew when I was holding her hand walking down, and I kept telling her thank you. And I think she was so shocked that she won. She didn't think she was gonna have to make this decision, but I knew what decision she was gonna make. I remember sitting next to Vince when I sat down, and she went into the diary room to do her last minute, thoughts and stuff. And I looked at him and I was like, I think it's gonna be me. And he's like, I think it's gonna be me. And in my head, I'm like, Vince, like, no offense, but she should take me out. Like, she will lose if she sits next to me. So I wasn't surprised. And I know that she said that she didn't know what she wanted to do. I think in her heart, when she won, she knew what she wanted to do. She just didn't want to hurt me. Because like she said, she's like, I hope we can still be friends after this. At the end of the day, it's a game. We came here to play a game. I was going to cut Vince, my number one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, was he going to hate me? Who knows? But it is very bittersweet. I still remember giving them both hugs because I was proud of both of them for making it, and just walking out the doors and being like, wow, I pictured myself having confetti falling right now. And instead, I'm hearing the applause, and I'm meeting Julie. So it was definitely very bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought you would have won against either one of them. At least that was the perception of viewers. And I will say, I mean, you were perceived as the best gamer of the season. So you can at least wear
Sleep.
that
Yeah.
proudly. I
Yeah.
was thinking this whole time, like you stay up very late. And he was like having a total breakdown after losing the second part of that HOH, and you're constantly reassuring him. And I was thinking in my head, like, did you sleep enough? Were you mentally prepared to go into this? Because Ashley, meanwhile, is sitting in the backyard prepping her final speech for like 2 days.
Hmm.
So, did you feel prepared going into it as much as you could have?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think that is the hardest part, is like, I'm a very like empathetic, compassionate person, and it was hard to see him crash because I'm very similar. Like, I kept my composure much more like than he did, and I didn't want people to feel like I was as emotional as I am. I went to the diary room and cried a lot. Like, when Ashley said that she didn't cry, I was like, you didn't cry this whole season, girl? What? Like, I was a mess. But I do feel like I was as mentally prepared as I could be. Like, it's hard because you really don't know what competitions you're going to get. And I remember part of me in the HOH part one, I was like, when she dropped, I was like, I should drop because Vince is an endurance comp beast, and the second one is always a physical comp, and I can beat Ashley in that. And then I would just have to face Vince in the finals. But I also wanted to prove that I can be a all rounds player. I mean, the one comp I didn't win was an endurance comp. So I chose to build my own resume than to, give it to Vince and potentially win the second. I played the game that I needed to play. But I do think I was as rested as possible. I mean, I woke up in a great mood. I felt great. I had a great prayer that morning. And I just knew that whoever was meant to win that competition was going to win. So I feel like even if I would have gotten 24 hours more of sleep or studied for days in on end, like, I still feel like she was going to win that competition because she was meant to win it.
I mean, you made history never hitting the block the entire jury phase. I mean, how proud of you are of that record are you? Five vetoes, two HOHs in the final weeks after you really struggled early in the season. You were pissed, like you weren't winning anything.
So, because as an athlete and as a gamer, I knew my capabilities, and like I can think about like Twin Witness News. I had the wrong one and I was gonna switch it, but I was like, like I won't do it this time. And I just I second guessed myself, and I didn't just give it everything I had. I just kind of I was settling in the beginning because I was like, okay, I have a great social game. I can rely on this. Um, but I don't know. I didn't want my story to just be what the first half of the season was, and I didn't even know that not touching the block at all the second half was a thing. Like I'm learning new things now. I'm learning new records. I didn't even know that. I mean, I knew the fact that I just learned today that 7 competitions in a row of 7 weeks of safety was a record. I didn't know that. I don't know. I'm really in awe with myself, and it's crazy when when this is all done and you're on stage and you have like some of the greatest players to play this game, like Chelsea, Taylor, and Derek, coming up and being like, "Oh my God, like you're one of the best to never win this game," and I'm like, "Say that again? Did that just come out of your mouth? Like, can you just say that one more time, please? Like, I'm gonna pass out right now." And then like regain consciousness and pass out again because of who was saying it to me. So it's like it's wild. But I really did struggle in the beginning because I was dealing with allies that were enemies. I mean, Jimmy said it today. It was I was under a dictatorship for a while, and that was really tough for me emotionally. Like I don't know what was shown on the episodes, but I know what I endured, and it was really tough. And I knew at some point I was going to have to take my game into my own hands and stop allowing people to make me think differently about myself or what I'm capable of. So I decided to just show up and show out and prove to people like this is who I came to play as. This is who I am. This is how I play. And I hope y'all bring your best because I'm about to bring mine.
When it came to the final vote, you stuck with Vince and you gave him your vote, but you were his only vote. Were you surprised by that? And why did you decide to vote for him in the end?
I was not surprised. I mean, it's funny because I knew listening to her speech, I was so proud of Ashley. And I was like, wow, like she is going to win this game. But I also played this whole game with Vince and I knew his story. And I felt like at the end of the day, it was a way of me telling him thank you for so many times of just having my back, protecting me, because he never really had, outside of saving me on the vote with Riley, like there was a lot of times where I heard, people were telling him, you need to take Morgan out. You need to take Morgan out. He never did. And so I felt like this was the one way to at least tell him like, hey, you're not going to win this game, but I know how much you wanted to be here. I'm happy that you're in second place. And that was that. I mean, I still would vote the same way because I knew Ashley was going to win. I know how Vince gets, especially with his mentality. And I feel like if he was to go out on a 7-0 vote, I don't know how he would have done mentally. So I just wanted to make sure that, you know, he knew that his number one ally was still going to have his back even after she was evicted.
It's been almost 3 months since you've been locked in this house. What do you want to do the most right now?
Right now, I want to walk my dog in my neighborhood and just see the houses that I love passing by and watching her wag her little bulldog butt and sniff the grass and all the normal things that I would do with her. And I would just want to play some video games, to be honest.
Is
Hang
there,
out with my friends, just the normal life of Morgan.
do you see yourself on any other like reality show competition or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I actually learned about the challenge in the Big Brother house. I never knew of that show. Never like, at first people were like, "Oh, Keanu would be on the challenge," which obviously, I mean, he was the best male competitor this season when it came to competitions. But I started talking to Will a lot, and Will's a huge challenge fan. And when he was telling me, you would do great on the challenge, I'm like, "Oh, I mean, hey, sign me up. Like, I'm always down to compete. I'm down to show up and show out." So I would definitely be open to whatever doors are opening for me. I mean, I am ready for anything.
Well, you need allies on that show too, and a lot of people go to past relationships. If you and Keanu were both on the challenge, could you have a strong alliance with him, or is he
Oh,
for you to work with?
absolutely. No, absolutely. Because the thing is like one thing I know about Keanu is even though he steamrolled a lot of conversations with other people, he didn't do that with me. Because I made sure, like, if we're gonna have conversations, we're gonna be adults. You know what I mean? We're gonna have real conversations. And I feel like my conversation with him after he nominated me was honest and transparent. And I think he was surprised by that. And I do at the end of the day feel that game recognizes game. Like I remember when he won the flee the scene veto and nobody really celebrated him winning, like my heart broke for him. And what's crazy is when I cried in the have not room because I couldn't win it because I felt like this is my chance to show people I can beat him and we can send him home and people be like, yeah, Morgan, woo. And, it didn't happen, but he was the first person to console me. And I'm like, wow, this guy has his back against the wall. Nobody in this house wants him here. And he's consoling me after he won a veto, and I told him there was plenty of times where I told him like, there was one time I actually prayed. It was the day of that veto, actually. And I prayed to God and I said, may whoever win this veto, be who's best for my game. And time after time, anytime I say that prayer, Keanu survived. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to start looking at Keanu in this game a little differently. Like maybe I can look at him as a shield and someone I can work with. And that's kind of how I navigated with him. Like I knew he was coming after me, but he also, once we had that common enemy of Lauren, I was like, oh, this is the golden opportunity to really make sure that he doesn't look my direction and he looks hers. And that's exactly what he did. And I, played the certain things I need to play, but I would definitely see myself aligning with Keanu because we are very similar when it comes to strategy and mindset. Just not like conversation steamrolling. That's not really my style. That's his, and that's okay.
Well, it would be fun to see. And once again, Morgan, congratulations on a fantastic season. And
Thank you.
we hope to see you in the future.
Yes. Thank you so much.